Hey everyone, Ian King here with your weekly market insights video. And before we get started this week, I want to first ask you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't, give us a like if what you have to say, and please comment if you have any questions on the topic we covered today. Joining me this week is my colleague and friend, Mike Carr. And Mike, let's talk about the election. We've got it in a little over 2 weeks. Americans will be voting. A lot of Americans have already gone out and voted. And I looked in at the prediction markets this morning, and it looks like the contract for Biden is trading about 66 cents, whereas the contract for Trump is trading around 35, 34 cents. What exactly does that mean, Mike? What are these prediction markets telling us?
So these markets have been studied. They go back a long ways into the 90s when the internet was new, as you may recall. Mm-hmm. And they've been found to be pretty accurate. These are people putting their money on the line rather than just telling a pollster their opinion. So it's telling us Biden has a pretty good shot of winning. Now, of course, in 2016, they told us Hillary had a pretty good shot.
Oh, I remember that.
And 538 again is showing about the same probability. So 538 is Nate Silver's site, and Nate Silver started with ESPN, great sports statistician, realized he could do politics, probably make more money at it. So he does 538. He's telling us Trump has a 1 in 8 chance. And that's about where he was election night 2016. Roughly the same as, a little bit worse than rolling a dice. And if you rolled a dice and you came up with a number 6, you wouldn't be surprised. You have a 1 in 6 chance of that. So that's about where we are. Trump has 1 chance on his side to win.
I mean, it sounds like we're setting up for another possible repeat of 2016. I want to share this chart with our viewers right now. So this is the contract of Trump versus Biden in the prediction markets going back 90 days. And you can see how it was further apart in July, and then the spread kind of closed in August. And now in the last month, with the president obviously getting coronavirus, it has moved away again, and Biden has taken a solid lead. Mike, this scenario is also playing out in the markets, though, because there are some sectors that are outperforming. I mean, what do you think about what's happening in solar? And I know a lot of these marijuana stocks are moving up right now. Are they pricing in a Biden presidency? And do you think this trade will quickly reverse if Biden doesn't win the presidency?
I actually think they're pricing in a Biden presidency, and I think it's going to reverse either way. Because should Biden win, there's an awful lot of Democrats who are going to have to step up now and vote for the Green New Deal, which benefits those solar stocks. And I don't think all of them are anxious to vote to put their constituents out of work. So no fracking is a great campaign slogan, but not a good policy when it's time to vote and see those workers protesting.
Let's dive into that a little more, because if you've looked at Biden's plan, he wants to allocate $2 trillion to the Green New Deal. And this is going to benefit solar companies and other renewable energy companies. And just in the last couple of weeks, we've seen stocks like SolarEdge and SunPower and other panel makers really just have these kind of parabolic moves to the upside. And it looks like it's really pricing in the Biden victory. But what you're saying is interesting, that you might not get all the Democratic senators to vote for something like the Green New Deal because they have constituents in their own states that they would be leaving behind. And, I find that really fascinating because there are a lot of investors out there, and this might just be that Robin Hood money that just, chases one idea, whether it be electric cars or it was bankrupt companies, and then it's SPACs, and next thing they're into all the solar stocks. It's like one hot money moving around. So you think potentially this isn't sustainable in these solar stocks, huh?
No, I think the smart money is pricing in a decline. I was looking to add some puts on those solar stocks to our portfolios, and some of them require a move of 15 to 20% to the downside by mid-November just to break even. So calls are relatively cheap on them. Nobody's betting on these energy stocks going up, but there's a lot of money betting on a decline in that sector.
Interesting. And one other point is that everyone talks about Tesla and how its market cap is larger than all of the auto companies combined. Next Era Energy this week, its market cap surpassed ExxonMobil. I mean, that's incredible. ExxonMobil, which is this, global upstream and downstream provider of energy and one of the most dominant companies in the last half century, has lost its market cap lead to a solar and an energy company that not that many people are familiar with. And actually, Next Energy, it's based down here in Juno Beach, Florida. So this is a local company that's in my county, and they just surpassed ExxonMobil. I mean, it seems like we see this with these new era companies that just take off and they replace these old world companies. Any other examples in particular, that you can think of when this has happened before in the past, maybe during .com?
Exactly, the .coms. And we're seeing a replay of that era also. I don't know if you remember when Microsoft put out operating systems, and at the time Internet Explorer was popular and ad blockers was popular, and they were going to be shut down for antitrust. We're seeing that play out exactly the same way with the current market leaders. In the end, Microsoft was not broken up. We're not going to see Facebook and Google broken up either. We're going to see new competitors rise, just like we did.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about, because if there is a blue wave, if the Democrats take the White House and the Senate, there's been long talk about tech regulation. And, that has to be a concern for Amazon, it has to be a concern for Google, for Facebook. I personally think that Jeff Bezos is going to spin off Amazon Web Services himself, the cloud division of Amazon, before the government even says that he has to get rid of it. And because I just think that Bezos, thinks 10 steps ahead of everybody else, especially when it comes to Bezos versus the government. Any thoughts? So you don't think that there will be breakups like like you've heard, for instance, Senator Elizabeth Warren talk about, and I think even Kamala Harris has mentioned it on the campaign trail?
I don't think so. I don't think the consumer is really wanting breakups. I don't want Google to go away because Google knows everything I need to know in the world. They know where I've been. They know where I'm going. They send me alert when I need to leave. So I don't want anyone to make my life more difficult. And I think that's another thing that the Democrats are going to discover. You can't really vote to break up these companies when your constituents are happy.
Interesting. I'm not sure if I want Google knowing everything that I've done, though, Mike. You might be out on a limb on that one.
Yeah, but you realize they have your entire browsing history and everything else about you.
Yeah, we'll leave that open for another discussion. So, before we end this, I just want to ask you, any thoughts on the market in the next couple of weeks? What should we expect leading up to the election, which is 2.5 weeks away?
I am looking for a pullback to start this week, very specific here, and I'm looking for a rally to start either a day or two ahead of the election or the day after, just like 2016.
No, I remember that reversal in 2016. That was a thing of beauty. Everybody got caught on the wrong side of that trade. And then it just kept going and going and going. And 2017 hit and it kept rallying. So bears, watch out if you don't get too cocky on the sell-off that Mike's forecasting, because you might have another turnaround against you like we had in 2016. So we'll leave it there, Mike. I want to thank you for joining me this week. And for myself and the rest of my team here at Smart Profits Daily, thank you for tuning in and have a great weekend. Take care.